Good afternoon, everyone. I have the distinct pleasure, I believe, of being the last speaker of the day, which means I must be good. Good news is, hopefully I am. It's been an interesting day for me, hearing about all the innovative things that are going on, all the speakers, 49ers organization and others. I'm going to talk a little bit today about something slightly different, but it is very innovative. Before I do, I would like to ask a question. Or it's more, I would like to ask you to do something. If you are a mother, a father, an aunt, an uncle, or a grandfather or a grandmother, please raise your hand. Okay, I think it's just about everybody. Close to it. So as I go through this presentation, I'd like you to think a little bit about that child, okay, and about how he or she may grow up and look at their education. Steam is the vapor that is created when water is heated to a certain degree. It's everywhere. You make tea, you see it. You jump into a hot tub, you see it. You go to a 49ers game, you see it. It's Patrick Willis there, retired a few years ago, one of our all-time favorites. Steam is all around us. It's a part of every piece of our days, or part of every one of our days. This is a different steam. Science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Also a part of our daily lives. Part of the energy we use to light this stage, the technology used for me to speak into this microphone, the construction of this building, the murals we paint, the problems we solve. STEAM is extremely important to all of us, and it is very important to young people. It is also something that gives everybody in this room a distinct opportunity to support and inspire our young people through education. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. You might be asking, why does STEAM education really matter? Between 2012 and 2022, the U.S. Department of Labor says that 9 million new STEAM jobs will be created in 10 years. 16% of high school students say that they are interested in STEAM careers in their senior year. That means 84% of kids have no interest in the subjects that are most likely to allow them to gain the best job out of school. The U.S. is 38th in overall STEAM performance when you look at academic markers globally. 38th. This is a global phenomenon. This isn't just about the U.S. I chose U.S. Department of Labor statistics because it's most relevant to what we're doing, but I guarantee you similar studies are available to talk about the same types of metrics in other countries. Mexico, the other countries represented here. So we have a workforce issue. We have an economy issue. We have a community benefit issue. We have a quality of life issue. And it all ties back to what our kids do and don't like to do. So what if I told you that sport can help solve that problem? That there was a way to take the subjects that kids are traditionally not inclined to want to pursue, as we just saw in that last stat, and make them more relevant, more exciting. To take the way that you play the game, the values that go into playing the game, all sports, not just football, soccer, baseball, lacrosse, whatever it is. Take those values and make them something that young people are attracted to. That there was an incredible opportunity for all of us to jump into the educational ecosystem and play a part in the trajectories of those kids that I asked you to think about while you're sitting in your seats.
The San Francisco 49ers Denise DeBartolo York Education Center is comprised of two distinct learning venues housed inside Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. The spaces, which service the 49ers STEAM education program, were designed from the ground up to facilitate engagement with and excitement for the program's curriculum, which aligns with Common Core and next generation science standards.
We just designed a mask using straws, tape, and whatever resources we had. The screen was really helpful because it made us more visual. I like the way the field is. It makes it feel like you're actually on the field and working with the players.
As a direct reflection of our education center's unique and exciting hands-on design, The 49ers help young children view STEAM in a different and approachable light, so they may one day be further encouraged to pursue a career in STEAM.
They love it, doing all those hands-on things they don't necessarily do all day at school.
I didn't know that football really used a lot of engineering.
Engaging more than 150,000 participants in meaningful STEM conversations since the Education Center opened its doors in 2014, the 49ers STEAM education program will continue to expose future leaders to hands-on, project-based learning-driven lessons infused with state-of-the-art technology for years to come.
Go ahead, yeah. I get fired up every time I see that too. I presented that at South by Southwest EDU last year for an award that we were up for, and we lost. Can you believe that? I thought for sure we would have won. The number one, there's been a lot of stats I've thrown at you so far today. 9 million, right? 16%, 38th. You heard a lot of numbers there. The number one is most important because the way that you reach the collective when it speaks to kids is to reach them individually. That girl on the left is a doctor. The one next to her is an engineer. The one next to her is an architect. And this one here is an athletic trainer. They just don't know it yet. They haven't been given the opportunity to see those things as relevant in their life or presented to them in a way that makes them like those things. They haven't seen adults stand in front of them and model empathy and encouragement and allow them to understand that we believe in them, that they can do these things, that we need them to do these things. We have a mission. It's very simple. We want to light a fire for young people to make them want to pursue STEAM in their education, their careers, and their futures as they look at communities. And we use sports to do it. We take the game of football in Levi Stadium, the most innovative sports venue in the world, in the center of innovation in Silicon Valley, and we treat those things as classrooms and as content. We work on life skills. We help kids understand how to work together, to collaborate, to be creative, to think critically, to communicate. And we do something really important, and that's to help them reorient their mindset. Does anybody in this room recognize this image? Can you guess what it might represent? There's a paradigm in educational philosophy that talks about fixed mindset and growth mindset. The one on the left is fixed. This child thinks, if I can't do this math problem right now, it's because I'm not good at math. Therefore, I will not pursue math. I will resist it. The child on the right thinks, if I can't do this math problem, I just need to keep practicing to the point where I'm good enough to be able to do it, and then I can do the next one. Think about one of my favorite sports to play, basketball. If I were to take any of you out to a free throw line for the very first time and give you a basketball and say, make a basket, and you were to shoot it and not make it, you wouldn't think that you could never make it. You would think you need to practice. That's the mindset we need to put into kids as it relates to their education, and that's why sports works. That's why football works, and American football, and golf, and baseball, and tennis. When I was a young man, I hated math. For the very reason I just told you, I wasn't good at it. But you know what I loved? Baseball. Baseball is the most statistically driven game of all the sports. I couldn't do geometry, I couldn't do algebra, I didn't want to. But if you turned a baseball card over and you said, Jesse, what is ERA? I could tell you exactly how to calculate that number. I could tell you how to use it as a predictor and an assessment tool to tell you if a pitcher was good. I could tell you that certain types of pitchers, a higher ERA is perhaps more allowable given how long they may pitch. I would get super in-depth about my analysis. I could tell you about slugging percentage and RBI. Now you got all kinds of fun stuff like launch angle and things that kids can get into. Nobody ever stopped and told me that that was math. That's what we do. That's what this entire room can do. The flagship program we run at Levi Stadium is a field trip program. Every single day of the school year in California, we have 180. We have between 300 and 360 kids, grades kindergarten to 8, come into our building. They're there for 5 hours. They tour the museum, they tour the stadium, they do a movement lab, which is kind of a cross section between NFL Play 60 and STEAM, and they do a lesson in one of our 2 classrooms inside the building. These are some mechanics around how the program works, but the most important thing to understand, completely free, including transportation. We spend almost $1 million a year to transport kids to our program. More than 50% of the kids that come to our program are coming from a Title I designated school. In the state of California, that essentially just says underserved area. Kids that would not normally have the same opportunities as others. We take care of all the logistics. We tell the teachers, who are very overworked people. Are there any teachers in this room? Anybody who's ever been a teacher in this room? Thank you. Thank you. It's hard. I taught for like 5 years. It's really hard. And when you have someone tell you, I will pay for you, I will handle the details, all you have to do is get your kids to the curb, ready for the bus. We do the rest. We make sure the kids come and leave inspired. This is what we teach them. That up there it says, aligned to Common Core and NGSS. Excuse me. Those are the 2 most important academic standards in the state of California and largely in the U.S. You'll see common themes throughout the content. Engineering, environmental sustainability, math, nutrition, health. Every single one of these lessons is available for every single grade using a technique called scaffolding, which means if this gentleman right here has a child who is in 2nd grade and he's learning about environmental sustainability, we'll teach solar energy lessons the same type of way as we would to an 8th grader, but with different level of difficulty. This is the most important decision a teacher makes because this decision informs what the rest of the day looks like for us. There's a lot of things going on in this picture right here. If you look down on the desk, you see the tablet. It's a design. That young girl right there was asked to draw out the face mask that she would build because it's key to the engineering design process, thinking creatively, coming up with an idea in your mind about what something looks like. You see kids working together. You see boys and girls. Look on the wall in the back. We took the wall and we put the engineering design process on the wall so kids are constantly reminded of it. Kids need to be able to solve problems today. Kids don't listen and repeat anymore. That's not education. Education is, give me a problem to solve and let me solve it and help me solve it with some other people. That's what's going on here. This is what we've done to date. There are a bunch of really cool stats. My favorite one is the very last one. 80% of students are telling us when they leave, I want to study STEAM now more than I did before I came in. That's exciting. That means that what we're doing is working. We have a number of different programs that we offer. We do a teacher training program. We bring teachers into the stadium and train them in groups. They get to work together. We have a family program where parents come in one-on-one with their kids. They understand that learning is fun. It's accessible. It's everywhere. We have online content built out through Khan Academy. Does anybody know what Khan Academy is? Khan Academy is a platform where you can go on for free and learn anything you want. We have after-school programming. We also give to other entities that do educational programming. We're very broad in the way that we provide our programs at the 49ers. And again, the key piece of all of this, it's all free. Nobody pays for anything. So what are we doing next? In 2020, I hope to serve 100,000 participants per year. Right now, we're about 70. We'll get there. I know we'll get there because the York family has a commitment to this, and they allow us to grow and do really innovative things. We'll get there because we need to get there. We need to continue driving. I mentioned that I was Director of STEAM Education and Managing Partner of EDU Academy. EDU Academy is a consulting firm that I started for one reason, because my phone would not stop ringing. People would say, Jesse, how do I get one of those classrooms? Like, how do I get a program like this? How do I do this? So we said, well, does the world really want to know? Yesterday, I announced our partnership with Chelsea. In a month, I'll be in London teaching Chelsea how to do what we do, running programs for kids at Stamford Bridge. In May, we're hosting a conference called Beyond Innovation. If anybody wants to go to that conference, my contact information is on the next slide. Reach out to me. It's free. You just got to get there. It's at Levi Stadium. Trust me, you'll enjoy the venue. The conference will allow us to talk more about the future of our work. We will announce our relationship with the National Soccer Hall of Fame in a couple of weeks. That is a museum that is being built inside the renovation of FC Dallas's stadium in Frisco, Texas. FC Dallas is a MLS club. I'll be in Minnesota in 2 weeks, pitching to them as a finalist to be the agency that helps them construct a 16,000 square foot STEM lab as part of the Vikings' new headquarters. I feel good about that project. We are hosting the college football national championship next year at Levi Stadium. As part of that, Extra Yard for Teachers is the philanthropic platform, and it's all educational programming, and we are overseeing all of that work in the Bay Area. This is the way, if anybody in the room is interested with what you're hearing, this could be the way to help you understand what your opportunity is, which is just about where I'm going to finish. The Sport Innovation Summit, business, analytics, fan engagement, all these things. Crucial, absolutely crucial. A program like ours has allowed us to recruit nearly $2 million in sponsor revenue to allow us to do programs for free and foundation donations. We've had at the end of this year, 210,000 kids through the program. I'll give you one guess who their favorite football team is now. That is a long-term business strategy. They're not going to buy a ticket tomorrow, but they might buy one in 10 years. Their parents might buy one tomorrow. Education programs are first and foremost important because they benefit communities and learners and teachers. That's why anybody in this room and the organizations you represent should think about doing one. Let me be clear about that. Keep the student and teacher experience first. However, the benefits from a business standpoint are myriad. And I would love to talk to anybody in this room more about what they do. This is my contact information. Thank you very much for having me up on the stage today. I hope you have a great night, and that's it.